Hey YouTube, hey alopecians out there in the world. This is Ashley and this is the remix. Today I want to talk to y'all about shaving your head, which is a very sensitive subject, or at least it could be. I had to do it. So also I want to do purple, and I'm going to stick with this gold I'm really liking of makeup today. So we're going to do Purple Empathy from this vegan palette, and we're going to talk about shaving your head. So for those of you that have alopecia, that have just a few hair, well, you have a few patches yet, I can understand why you don't want to shave it. You have this hope that maybe it'll start growing back and it will all thicken up together and perhaps, it'll come back. So I held on to hope. I clung on to hope for way too long, and my hair was I only had probably about 25 or 30% left of it on my scalp. But I wasn't ready to shave it. I knew it needed to be done, but I wasn't ready. And that's one thing. You need to be ready. You have to, it's something that you don't rush. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. So I dreaded it. I knew it needed to be done. I dreaded it. I wanted to hang on to what I had left, because in my mind I thought, if this goes, this may be the last hair I ever see on my head. It was something, it was very emotional. And I've had a couple of people ask me about this, people have said, when is the right time to do it? Well, let me just tell you right now, there is never a right time. I had been thinking about it for weeks. And one day I looked at my husband and said, I'm ready. Let's do it right now. Like right now. And he was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I was like, yes, I'm sure. Like, do it before I change my mind. And I'm not going to lie. When he pulled out the clippers, I was very nervous. I was anxious. I was scared. I've never seen myself bald before. I didn't know what to expect. But I knew that it was ready. It had to be done. It was time. So he pulls out the clippers, and I highly suggest, if you're shaving your head, if you're emotional about it, you get somebody else to help you with it, because you don't want to break down and accidentally hurt yourself trying to shave your hair off. Make for a much worse story. So get someone to do it for you. Luckily, my husband was very kind, and he did it with clippers. And at first I cringed. There is no good time to do it. I cringed after he did it. I cried, and I had a long cry, and I got in the bathtub. He ran me a hot shower, which really seemed to help, because you're going from one person that you used to know, like your old self, your version of your old self, to this new person that you don't know or recognize. And it's hard. It's really hard. But yeah. So shaved my head, spur of the moment. I think it was like a weekend. And I just said, okay, it's time. I'm ready. It's time. I think this brush is too thin, but we will persevere on. So I had a warm bath, and I'm not gonna lie, I stayed in the bath for a long time, and I cried. And I cried because I was grieving the loss of what I had left and what I thought was, you know, my femininity. I thought, and it is, our hair is what has always defined, at least me as a woman, to myself. And I know it's not the defining thing, but when you have to take that step, it can be really hard. So there's no good time. There's never a good time. Just like that people say when having kids, there's never a good time. You just have to do it. And if you're debating it, wait till you're 100% ready for just let's go ahead and do it. Okay. Purple haze in my face. Except for on that side. After I got out of the bathtub and pulled myself together, put on some clothes, I felt this euphoric, cathartic release of emotion, and I felt so much freedom. I just kept touching my head. I felt so much freedom, guys. It was so freeing, all this stuff I was holding on to, and I thought to myself, why did I hold on to that for so long? And why did I push this back for so long? That's a really nice color. So yeah, didn't use any shave gel, just straight up clippers. And it was very odd, the feeling of it all. So after that, I was really excited. I was like, look at me, you know, I'm bald. This is crazy. It was kind of fun. The next day I woke up and I remember still being like, holy cow, I did this. And I felt emboldened and empowered. And I'm like, I took charge of the situation rather than the situation taking charge of me. And that's how I wanted to feel. So that's when I began to start to meet my new self, you know. I went from having long blonde hair to meeting my new self. And I've lost all of my eyelashes and eyebrows. And I'm going to recommend, if you have to shave your head completely and you have no eyebrows, I'm going to highly recommend that you get microblading done. Because before I had microblading done, I felt really, really, really a lot worse about myself because my face didn't look like its normal shape. It didn't have, you know, the normal features. And the eyebrows really helped with that microblading. And I only had to have 2 microblading sessions with no eyebrows at all. So if you guys like, I will let you know about microblading real quick, and then one day I'll maybe do an extensive video. So if you don't know anything about it, I honestly didn't. I had to research it. I had to find out. But so what they do is it's like a temporary tattoo. It lasts for like what, maybe 2 years. It's depending. It's just depending on your skin and if it's oily or dry, like 1 to 2 years, and you can get it touched up sooner, I'm sure, if you needed to. But they just take, I know everyone hates needles. It's not that painful. The procedure itself is 0 pain. And they take you, they draw it out. They spend a lot of time measuring to make sure that it's perfect and that it's lined with your eyes and then your ears properly and everything's good. And then they let you review it, and then they numb it up, and they just take a small little tiny little needle that like you can't even see because you're laying backwards. And they just start and they numb it up, and then you pick out a color, and I let the lady help me pick out the color because she does this all the time for a living. So they did like a sandalwood color on me mixed with like a cocoa. And I wanted it to be, but I wanted mine to be sort of bold because I wanted it was a bold feature of mine. This eyebrow, right? One of these. And so I wanted it to stand out like it did before. Anyway. And it wasn't, I mean, it was, a couple $100 per session, but a couple $100 for to feel better about yourself. I mean, and it's semi-permanent. That you can't beat that with a stick. So I highly recommend it. And we are so lucky. This was not even around, before you had to get permanent tattoo makeup. It wasn't just temporary. So got a little too much there. Got a little too excited. Let's check out the eyes. Okay. So yeah, after my hair fell out and I cried, I had this cathartic just cry about everything, it wasn't easy. And after that, I was excited and elated, and I felt a sense of freedom. And then I would fall back into a couple days of depression, and then I'd be like, no, girl, you rock your baldness. So I'd have to keep, picking myself back up. But eventually I'm getting to know the bald Ashley, and she's not so bad. She's a pretty cool girl. We have the same personality, it turns out, and the same glasses. So let's see, what kind of lip gloss do we want to do today? It's a Friday. I hope y'all are feeling great out there, all my fellow alopecians. I don't even know if that's a correct term, but that's what I'm calling us. So I hope it doesn't offend anyone. All right, where is my lip gloss? Okay, I have a very bright pink one that I can do. And then, let's see, I'm looking for, oh, here we go. I have this Chanel in Cocoa Rouge. Okay, get a little bit of my Cupid's bow. How are we looking out there? So, shaving your head is hard but necessary, I think. If you know that there's no hope and it's just all dead. And it makes showering a whole lot easier too. You'll find that a whole lot easier. Showering will be quick. Let's see if I can get that little blemish. So, microblading, one of the best decisions I ever did. Even though, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared about how it was gonna turn out, but it turned out really well, as you can see. Anyway, we'll do a little bit of sparkle, and then I'm gonna bid you guys farewell for today. Why not do a little sparkle? Okay. Well, my fellow alopecians, thanks for listening to today's kind of crazy remix. And I hope to see you soon. Stay strong. I love you guys out there. And bye-bye.